Most people study languages for years, but still cannot speak fluently. The problem is not motivation, it's not talent, it's the method. Today, I will break down the core principles of Fluent Forever, a system that focuses on how the brain learns languages, not how schools teach them. The main thesis is simple. Fluency is automaticity. If you need to think about rules, translate in your head, or hesitate, you are not fluent yet. This method is designed to remove conscious thinking while speaking as early as possible. The first principle is simple: pronunciation before everything else. Because if you learn words with bad pronunciation, your brain stores them incorrectly, and later you don't just have an accent. You literally hear the language wrong. That's why this system starts with phonetic training, sound discrimination, and minimal pairs. At first, you learn the sounds, and then the vocabulary. And most English learners literally can't understand the difference between, for example, bad, bad, and, sent, sent. This is the only rule I may disagree with. Traditional learning leans words this way: foreign word, translation, and sometimes meaning. But according to this book, you must not use your mother language while learning vocabulary. Why? Because successful learners, fluent people, don't translate, they recognize. So, you have to organize your words list or spaced repetition system this way: foreign word, image, meaning. Images force your brain to process the language directly, without interfering in your native language. But in my opinion, at first you need to understand that you gotta learn as many words as possible. And here you have two choices. The first, according to this book, you just learn words with images and meaning, and you don't have to care about anything else. And also you have the second choice. At first, you learn words the traditional way. I mean, foreign word, your mother language translation, and the meaning. But then you have a problem. At first, really, I agree with this book. You will translate the words, but then, when you have enough exposure to the language, you will connect the words to their meanings directly. Memory doesn't work through repetition alone. It works through forgetting. I understand, it may sound weirdly, but let me explain. There is such a thing as forgetting curve, first developed by German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus. And based on this system, based on this curve, works the spaced repetition system. And according to this system, you don't repeat the words when it's easy for you. You repeat them exactly in the most difficult way for you, exactly in the moment when you're going to forget them. And it builds very good, very effective long-term memory. If it feels hard, this is the moment. Fluency doesn't come from knowing rare words. It comes from mastering the basic ones. The method prioritizes the most frequent words and the most frequent sentence patterns. A small, well-automated vocabulary beats a large, passive one every time. Instead of rules, you learn example sentences, patterns, contrasts. Your brain extracts the rules automatically, exactly the same way it did it in your native language. Rules may appear later, but as a confirmation, not the engine. For me, it worked the same way, but in my opinion, it's absolutely not a problem if you look up a table, a scheme, a rule. But I bet you, please, don't learn like you know this. 50 pages explanation of one English tense with 50 examples. It's absolutely not a good deal, but it's absolutely fine if you learn a scheme like subject plus to be plus verb plus ing builds the present continuous tense, and it means that something is done exactly in this moment. And let's compare it to present simple. For example, I cook means that something is done on a regular basis, and I'm cooking means that we are doing it right now, and it's everything you gotta know about these tenses. Not more. Many learners avoid listening because they don't understand. That's a mistake. Early listening reshapes sound perception, prevents fossilized errors, and accelerates speaking later. Understanding comes after exposure, not before. This system relies on recall, recognizing, and production. If your brain struggles, learning is happening, and comfort is the biggest enemy of the progress. You are not a language teacher, translator, or interpreter. Your goal is not to explain the grammar rules. Your goal is not to translate the words correctly. Your main goal is just to speak. Speak automatically, without thinking about it, and doing it correctly. When that happens, fluency is no longer effort, it's default behavior. Fluent Forever is not about shortcuts. It's about aligning learning with how memory, sound, and automaticity actually work. But the most important thing to remember, if you want to speak, train your brain, not your textbook. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.